This Dutch cuisine is just different, from salty candy to fish on a stick. Here are 14 foods that are normal in the Netherlands, but nowhere else. 14. Schnert. When the Dutch canals freeze over, everyone starts talking about schnert. This is a split pea soup so incredibly thick that the rule of thumb is to stick a spoon in the middle of the pot. If it stays standing perfectly upright, you did a good job. It is loaded with dried split peas, leeks, celeriac, and onions. To make it truly Dutch, you add plenty of pork, usually in the form of ribs or trotters. To finish it off, you add slices of smoked sausage. It's traditionally served with a side of dark rye bread topped with smoked bacon. It's the ultimate antidote to a grey, rainy Dutch winter day. 13. Stampot. Stampot is the quintessential Dutch dinner. It is a mash of potatoes and vegetables that looks simple but hits the spot when it's cold outside. There are several variations of it. You want the puree to be a chunky, textured mash. It's almost always served with gravy in the center and a large smoked sausage on the side. For many locals, this is the taste of home. It's the kind of food that grandmothers make on Sunday nights. 12. Poffertjes. These are tiny puffy pancakes made with yeast and buckwheat flour. They're cooked in a special cast iron pan with small round indentations that gives them their signature shape. The standard serving usually consists of about 20 of these little clouds. They're served hot and topped with a massive amount of powdered sugar and a thick slab of butter that melts into a creamy glaze. You'll see people eating them at street markets and festivals, standing around with a high table and a little plastic fork. 11. Drop. Dutch licorice known as drop is perhaps the most polarizing food in the country. The Dutch eat more licorice than anyone else in the world, consuming about 4 pounds per person every year. However, don't expect the sweet fruity candy you find in other countries. Dutch drop comes in a dizzying array of varieties, hard, soft, and sweet. But interestingly, it's always salty. The saltiness comes from ammonium chloride, which gives it a sharp medicinal sting. It is definitely an acquired taste, but once you get used to it, it becomes a daily habit. 10. De kroket. The kroket is a deep-fried breaded roll filled with a rich, velvety meat ragu. While you can find them in the upscale cafes, the most authentic way to eat one is uit de muur, literally meaning from the wall. Chains like Fibo have long rows of heated vending machine windows. You put in a few coins, open a glass door, and take your hot kroket on the go. It's the ultimate convenience food. It's a perfect contrast of textures, the crunch of the breading against the smooth, savory interior. It is the gold standard for Dutch afternoon snacks. 9. Frikandel. The frikandel is a long, dark, skinless sausage that is a staple of every snack bar in the country. It is deep-fried and has a unique, finely ground texture. While the exact blend of meats is often the subject of jokes and urban myths, it is actually a mixture of pork, chicken, and beef. The most popular way to order it is the frikandel speciaal. The sausage is sliced open lengthwise and filled with mayonnaise, curry ketchup, and a generous heap of finely diced raw onions. It is a messy and very cheap snack that is particularly popular after a few beers. 8. Rookworst. Rookworst is the smoked sausage that completes many Dutch meals. It is traditionally made with ground meat, spices, and salt, then smoked to give it a deeper flavor. It has a very specific snap to it when you bite through the casing. The Dutch department store Hema is famous for its hot rookworst, which shoppers often grab to eat while they browse. It is thick, juicy, and more flavorful than a standard hot dog. For many Dutch people, a winter meal simply isn't complete without a few thick slices of this smoky sausage on their plate. 7. Hagelslag. These are chocolate sprinkles that are treated as a legitimate meal topping rather than a decoration for cupcakes. For the rest of the world, it's weird. For the Dutch, it's life. Every morning, Dutch people take a slice of bread, spread it with a thick layer of butter, and pour an avalanche of chocolate sprinkles over it. The butter is essential because it acts as the glue that keeps the sprinkles from rolling off the bread. You can find dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and even fruit-flavored versions. It is simple, sweet, and incredibly efficient. 6. Halan Sanua. The famous raw herring that has been a part of Dutch culture for centuries. The fish is cleaned, the head is removed, and it is cured in salt for a short period. The arrival of the new herring in the spring is a major national event. The traditional way to eat it is to hold the fish by the tail, tilt your head back, and slide the whole thing into your mouth. It is usually served with chopped raw onions and pickles to cut through the fattiness of the fish. 5. Vla. Vla is a dairy product that looks like custard but has a thinner, silkier consistency. What makes it unique is that it is sold in litre cartons, just like milk, and is found in the refrigerator section of every grocery store. It comes in classic flavors like vanilla, chocolate, and caramel, as well as seasonal varieties. A popular way to serve it is the vla flip, where you lay a fruit syrup, yogurt, and vanilla vla into a glass. It is a simple, nostalgic treat that reminds many locals of their childhood. It's not fancy, but it is a reliable staple that is rarely found outside of the Netherlands. 4. Bitterballen. The ultimate Dutch pub snack. They are small, round versions of the croquette, filled with a savory meat ragout and deep fried until golden and crispy. They're almost always served with a side of sharp mustard. If you're having some drinks with your friends, a plate of bitterballen is mandatory. The only thing you have to be careful about is the temperature. The filling inside stays incredibly hot long after the outside has cooled down. Every person that's tried bitterbal has at least one story of burning their mouth on it. 3. Kibbeling. If you visit a Dutch market or a seaside town, you have to try kibbeling. These are bite-sized chunks of white fish, usually cod or whiting, that are battered and deep fried. They are seasoned with a special blend of spices that include salt, pepper, and paprika. Kibbeling is served hot with a creamy dipping sauce like garlic sauce or tartar sauce. It is much more flavorful and easier to eat than traditional fish and chips because the fish is cut into small pieces before frying. It's a popular weekend snack for families and a great way to enjoy fresh fish in a casual, approachable way. 2. Apple tart. Dutch apple tart is a far cry from the thin crust apple pies you find elsewhere. It is deep, thick, and has a crumbly cake-like crust. The filling is packed with large chunks of tart apples, cinnamon, and raisins, and it isn't overly sweet. You'll find it in almost every cafe in the country, and it is traditionally served with a large serving of whipped cream. The pie is so iconic, many cafes pride themselves on having their own secret family recipe. It's the perfect example of Dutch comfort food. And finally, number 1. Stroopwafels. This is probably the most famous Dutch sweet treat. It consists of 2 thin, crispy waffles held together by a layer of gooey caramel syrup. They originated in the city of Gouda and have since become a global favorite. While you can buy them in packages, nothing beats a fresh one from a market store where it's still warm. The best way to eat a packaged one is to rest it on top of a hot cup of coffee or tea. The steam from the drink softens the syrup inside, making the cookie chewy and warm. It's a simple combination of flavors that perfectly represents the Dutch love for cinnamon and caramel.